All right, up next, another rack. Now we've seen instrument racks, but here we have MIDI effect rack. Okay, so we could throw this on something. Let's throw it here. And it looks familiar from when we looked at instrument racks in the previous class. And it basically works the same. So we have an empty rack here. We can throw a whole bunch of things on it. In fact, I could just drag this arpeggiator right in there. Now the arpeggiators in a rack, we also have chains. Okay, so what can I do with a MIDI effect rack? Well, now that we have this arpeggiator on it, that gives me actually a couple ideas. I can only put MIDI effects in it, but what if I put a bunch of different arpeggiators in it? Right? If you haven't seen the video on instrument racks, please look at that. It'll make this make a lot more sense. So I have 3 or 4 different arpeggiators here, and let's say I want to trigger them with velocity. So if I play a quiet note, it's going to be that one, that arpeggiator. I play a little bit louder note, it's going to be that arpeggiator. Now that arpeggiator and that arpeggiator. Let's maybe spread those out a little bit better. Cool. Now, depending on how loud or soft I play a note, it's going to trigger a different kind of arpeggiator. Let's try that. Ooh, I got both. You know what I could do? I could also just make an insanely interesting arpeggiator by just letting all 4 happen at once. Oh, I rather like that. Huh. Neat. I've never had good luck with MIDI effect racks making anything interesting, but that's actually pretty interesting. So let's leave that there. Let's hear how that sounds in the context of my whole goofy track here. Get rid of our melody. Kind of cool with that. So MIDI effect rack, you can put a whole bunch of MIDI effects in here, control them by velocity, key, where we could set a key range for each MIDI effect, or we can just use the chain selector to turn them on and off by mapping this. We still have macros that we can assign to anything. So basically works exactly the same as instrument racks. Now, we are going to get into, in this class, audio effect racks, where we will go into the gory details of how to build an insane audio effect rack. So I highly encourage you to check that out. We'll get there shortly. Don't worry. The MIDI effect rack is less useful than the audio effect rack. The audio effect rack, I think, is one of the most powerful things in live. So, stay tuned for that. But for now, let's move on to our next MIDI effect.